So we're going to practice a little bit more exponents, and you're just going to try them and then check your work. There's a lot of different ways to do these, so just know that. If you have questions, you can ask me through Google Chat or not Google Chat, Google Classroom or email, or you can come see me during my office hours. Okay, so we're going to simplify using the properties of exponents, and then we need to answer with positive exponents only. All right, so number one, I'm going to use the quotient property to move or, to divide. So I'm going to do the 6 divided by 3 first, which gives me 2. And then the c to the third power, and I'm going to move these to the top, so minus negative 5. This is going to give me 2 times c to the, this becomes a positive, to the 8th power, and that's it. All right, next, go ahead and divide 2 divided by 4, negative 4, so I can see that a 2 divides out of both, giving me 1 over negative 2. Second part, the d's. So I am going to combine these first. So I'm going to get d to the 7 on the top. And then since the bases are being multiplied, I can do d to the 9 plus 5, okay, which is going to give me 1 over negative 2, d to the 7 over, I'm just going to erase this now, d to the 7 times d to the 14. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and employ the quotient property. So I'm going to move those to the top, and I get 1 over negative 2, d to the 7, and if I have to subtract out the 14, okay? So I get 1 over negative 2 times d to the, times d to the negative 7, and then how do I make that negative 7 positive? We're going to move it down to the lower level because it's the base is in the numerator. So I have 1 over negative 2, d to the positive 7. All right, number 3. So I'm going to start by multiplying 2 times 4, which gives me negative 8. And then I'm going to combine my y's. So y to the 7th times y to the 9th, and then d to the 5th. So if the bases are being multiplied, I can add the exponents. So I'm going to get negative 8 times y to the 7 plus 9. There's nothing to combine with the d. So I get negative 8 y to the 16, d to the 5th. Okay. The negative 8 is okay because the exponent on the negative 8 is a 1. There's one of those. Okay, one copy. But if you have any negative exponents, you got to change them to positives. All right, so there's an invisible 1 right here. The 5 is only being given to the x. So I can rearrange this as, I'm going to do 9 times negative 1. And then I'll group together my x's. So x to the 10th times x to the 5th. And then finally the y's. So y to the 3rd times y to the 3rd. So I go ahead and multiply. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9. 10 times negative 10, x to the 10th times x to the 5th is going to give me, what am I going to do with the exponents? I'm going to add them, x to the 15, and then y to the 6th. And that's done. number 5. So this one is a power to a power, whereas the 3's base is everything inside the parentheses. Okay, so what do we do in this case? We would multiply the exponents. So c to the negative 1 times 3 gives me c to the negative 3. And am I allowed to leave it like that? Nope, I gotta use a positive exponent. So I'm going to change this to a over 1. The base right now is in the numerator, so what we need to do is change it into the denominator. So I get c, and the exponent becomes positive, and the 1, there's something on top, so I leave a 1 there. 1 over c to the third. So instead of multiplying by c 3 times, we're going to divide by c 3 times. All right, last one. The exponent negative 2 is being distributed into everything inside. Okay, so I can see there's 2 things inside, 2 bases, d to the 10th and 2, basically. Actually, it's negative 2. Okay, so right now the negative 2 has a 1, an exponent of 1. So I'm going to go ahead and start by doing negative 2 to the negative 2 power, and then d to the 10th power times negative 2. So both of those powers get raised to the negative 2. Same with this one. We technically have a 1, so a negative 1 inside here being raised to the first power. The 3 is only the d to the third power, only the base of d is being raised to the third power. So I'm going to distribute those to the powers, okay? And I get negative 1 to the 1 times 3 times d to the 3 times 3. All right, so I get negative 2 to the negative 2, and I can already see that this is a problem because I don't like that negative exponent. So I'm going to change this so that the negative 2 is going to go in the denominator, and my exponent is going to become a positive. Put a 1 on top. And then I'm going to do d times d to the negative 20. We'll change that in a second. Times negative 1 to the third power times d to the 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so technically all of these are over 1. So what I'm going to do is change my d. I'm going to change the d to the 20 to have a positive exponent. Okay, so I get, and I'm going to write this all as one fraction. So 1 times, let's go ahead and evaluate this part. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, positive 4. Okay, the d is going to go to the bottom, and get a positive exponent. What's negative 1? Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. That's going to give me a negative 1. And then the d to the 9th is happy where it is. Okay, so I'm going to simplify a little bit to give me negative 1 d to the 9th over 4 d to the 20th. I can still see I can combine, since I have the same base here, I can combine these, giving me negative 1 and 4 to start. And then I'm going to move the 20 up. So I'm going to do d to the 9 minus 20 gives me negative 1 over 4 d to the negative 16. Is it happy where it is? Nope. We got to move it down. So negative 1 over 4, and this whole thing is going to move down to the lower level. So d to the 16. And I made a mistake right here. Right here, 9 minus 20 is negative 11. So this would be When I move this down to the lower level, this would also be d to the 11th power. And that's that.